on the U.S. team, Rink Babka, tell me what I was doing wrong. I followed his advice and I won a medal. He won a silver. Perhaps he shouldn't have told me. But that was a very human thing to do. He wanted me to get the best out of myself. That's the Olympic experience. If I look back in the games, it carries through to today. I love the challenge of the games. I love the challenge of trying to be at my best at my current age, 52. When I started back, I started doing squats or deep knee bends with weight, and I went up to 700. This allows me to go in excess of 1,000. And my strength level in my 50s just has not tailed off. I mean, the same strength levels as you had in the 20s and 30s and perhaps well beyond that. It's becoming fascinating, particularly with age, because all of these thoughts about, you should stop at the top and, you shouldn't do this at your age and, you can hurt yourself, irreparably or something like that. But just not, because a person can continue for extended periods of time. I don't have a particular diet that is, I'm not on nuts and berries, although my wife would prefer it. She's a vegetarian. But I managed to get over to a local diner and have greasy home fries and half-cooked eggs and all that kind of stuff. I thrive on that kind of stuff, but there is no particular diet. Sure, I'm still competing. I'll never be in the Olympics again, I know that, but that is no great loss. That doesn't take away from my feeling of being at one's best.
He has such stamina. When he would be traveling a lot, I could pick him up at the airport and he'd say, bring along sneakers and shorts. He would go out and train and that would be his relaxing. His perseverance that way is what makes him great.
Everything's directed towards what I do inside the ring. Walking is directed that way, or get on an exercise bicycle or do actual cycling outside. It's all directed towards the throw. It would appear that I'm compulsive about the thing. That's really not true. I can't stand running. That's why I ride the bicycle with Kathy in the mornings here on the beach. I tried everything in running. I tried running into sunsets. I tried running in mists at the water's edge and getting this mystical high that runners have and all this kind of stuff. I couldn't find a clue. Okay, so I stopped it before I hurt myself.
Even though he's no longer in the Olympic spotlight, Al Orter remains a respected spokesman for his sport. His outlook is reinforced by the fact that he's still throwing world-class distances.
It is not false modesty. I'm not a great discus thrower, but I'm, I think, a very fine competitor. Even though I'm injured or sick or something, or technique is not working, or I'm just not strong enough or something during the execution of that program, it doesn't persuade me that I'm any less than capable. People have asked me what I fear most. The question was always asked with the sense that I would answer, I fear losing. I've never had that kind of feeling. If you carry that anywhere in athletics, you're going to lose. If you compete against somebody to make yourself feel good or to get somebody else down, that's an environment that eventually works against you. It's not good, it's evil, in fact. But when you use competition as a test of self, then it's positive. Winning is the result of preparation, all of that work that goes on within. It's all at being at one's best and overcoming barriers and understanding how to compete with people and not taking anything away from the competition, trying to add to it and being human about the thing, I guess.
If winning is ultimately a test of self, then the career of Jeff Blacknick is a shining example. At the 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles, Jeff stepped into the center ring. A relative newcomer to the sport of Greco-Roman wrestling, the battle that day was for the gold medal.
Me, I was a new kid on the street. I felt very good about myself, and it was kind of like, hey, I finally arrived. There's a high anxiety level before you walk out in front of 5,000 screaming people for a gold medal. A lot of things crush your mind. Are you going to win? Are you going to lose? You wonder, this would be such a fairy tale come true for me.
For Blacknick, the fairy tale did come true. Yet only his parents and a few close friends knew that the storybook ending had begun as a nightmare 2 years earlier.
It was the day before my 25th birthday that I found out I had a form of cancer known as Hodgkin's disease, which is a lymphatic cancer. It was a situation where I was dealt a cold, hard fact. I didn't buy it. I didn't hear what they said if they told me to stop wrestling. It was really wrestling that kind of kept me going in life. It gave me something to concentrate on other than worry, other than negative pessimism. I always focused on what I wanted to do. And these were what I had to do to beat it.
Jeff did conquer the cancer, and coupled with his victory in the ring, he gave a joyous and tearful post-match interview, where the whole world finally learned of his earlier struggles.
That's what I felt. It was genuine. It was from the heart. And it's the result of the people that helped get me there. And even though they may not have thought I had a chance of coming back, they never said, "We don't think this is for you." And when you look at it, the first international tournament I won after coming back from the cancer were the Olympic trials and the Olympic Games. So sometimes you have to wait to the last minute before success rolls your way.
But the story and the struggle of Jeff Blatnick didn't end with the Olympics.
I felt a twinge down here and a bump. And I went cold all over because my body was telling me there was something wrong again. Went in and had a biopsy. It turned out to be Hodgkin's disease. I was asked immediately after that if I was going to retire, and I immediately said no. And I had to toss out the fact that I had gotten to the top, and I had to re-educate myself as to who I was in terms of an athlete. My reputation doesn't win matches. I do. And that's a barrier that you have to learn to fight through. You know, somebody's always beating you. You've got to learn how to rise above that and just keep hammering away until you finally win.
1984 Olympic gold medalist from Niskayuna, New York, USA, Jeff Blatnick.
As time goes on, I think he's becoming more of a hero. He was there in 84, and not only was he there, but he was the best in the world. Now he wants to do it again.
Take him down.
In Greco-Roman wrestling, you cannot use any moves below the waist. You can't do any leg attacks. It's all upper body. And to take an opponent down to the mat without using legs is pretty difficult.
Beautiful match. You did such a job. Now, think about the match against the Russian.
I'll wrestle.
Oh, okay, cool.
The reason I didn't want to retire was I wanted to have another shot at a Soviet. I wanted to wrestle a Soviet and beat a Soviet, which I have not done yet.
You wrestle against the Russians. When you wrestle against the Russians, try to go for the body lock and throw.
If there's one thing that kept me in it, that's been my one dream, is I want to beat a full field, or I want to beat a Russian and know that I beat the world's best.
Get the body lock position.
I found out this morning I'm going to be wrestling against the Soviets this afternoon. So my toughest match is coming up. This kid's young. He won their national championship. He's only a junior. He's big and strong, so this will be a big test for me. This is a big opportunity. It's also a way of measuring myself.
Blatnick, вот этого олимпийский чемпион Олимпийских игр, который стал в Лос-Анджелесе.
Were you nervous? Oh, hell yes.
Come on, Jeff, let's go. You can do it. I think Jeff is brave just going out there because, you know, he's not really 100%. This guy is the most heavily muscled heavyweight I've ever seen. Move, Jeff! You guys awesome. No! No! All right, Jeff, not bad. Good job.
He banged me real good, and those are the lumps you take on the road to getting to be a winner again.
Jeff, do you see this as a setback to your road back or as a learning experience?
Oh, you got to say it's a learning experience. Anytime you can take a loss and turn it into a lesson, then you've been a winner, regardless of the statistical score. But these are the opportunities you need. And hey, if it takes me 5 losses to finally get a win, I'll take it, because I eventually got there.
When I look at my situation now, people ask me about the future of my disease. I just look at them and say, do I look healthy? They say yes, and I say that's the way I intend to keep it. We can sit here and worry about a lightning bolt, you know, in the middle of winter crashing through the ceiling and wiping us all out. I tend not to want to worry about things like that.
In competitive sport, winning gets all the attention. Unless, of course, you happen to play for the Columbia University football team. Columbia captured national attention by